The Falmouth Commodores are finally back home after a 2-0-1 road trip. They play the Wareham Gatemen for the second time this season, the first time here at Gov Fuller Field. Hi everybody, thank you so much for joining us on today's edition of Opening the Door, alongside Trey Redfield, today's color commentator, and Carter Bainbridge, today's play-by-play broadcaster. I'm Logan Soforenko. I'll be on the field providing updates all throughout the game for you guys. And Carter, let's jump right into things. Last night, the Falmouth Commodores ended their three-game road trip with a win over the defending champion, Brewster Whitecaps.
Yeah, the Whitecaps off to a little bit of a middling start this year. They came into that game 5-5, but the Dores prevailed by a run last night, 4-3, your final score. The Commodores got enough on offense. You would have liked to assume they'd get just a bit more. The final 15 Falmouth batters were retired in that game in order. So they're going to have to get a little bit more consistent on offense today after that 4 spot in the first and nothing else the rest of the game. They were fortunate to prevail in what was a crazy ninth inning in that game as well.
When you go 2-0-1 on a road trip, you have to just look at the standings and see what's at stake. And Trey, the Wareham Gatemen last night fell, and they had a pretty solid lead throughout the game as well, but there's some standing stuff on the line today.
Yeah, Wareham losing 8-4 last night, Ty, and it creates a lot of stuff in the Western Division standings. If the Commodores win tonight, they get themselves out of that 5th place hole. They'll move up to 4th place in the West Division. If they win and if the Harbor Hawks lose tonight, then that'll create a tie for 3rd place in the Western Division. So it's only up from here for the Commodores if they can keep the good times rolling tonight.
No better place to do it than Gov Fuller Field. And Carter, we're going to see a guy for the Falmouth Commodores making his 3rd start, Ben Hess, who has had a pretty solid start for the 2022 season.
Yeah, that to say the least. We talked about keeping the good times rolling, and there's a good candidate on the hill today to keep those good times going. Ben Hess, the right-hander, in his 2 starts so far this summer, 7 innings pitched, only 1 earned run allowed, and he hasn't allowed an extra base hit. So he's limiting the base runners, he's limiting the hard contact. Hasn't had a decision yet because he's looking for more run support. That's the key today against a Wareham staff that ranks last in the league in team earned run average.
Ben Hess had a start against the Katuitt Kettleers and as well against the Orleans Firebirds. And Trey, he's going to go up against a Wareham pitcher, Grayson Moore, making his 2nd appearance on the season, but his 1st start for the Gatemen.
Grayson Moore is a Vandy boy. The last time he was out for Wareham, he had 2 1/3 innings pitched, like you mentioned, in relief, giving up 1 hit, 2 strikeouts of shutout ball. He only had 1 start at Vanderbilt this season, and he's also a two-way player coming into Nashville. He was an outfielder. He was actually a really good outfielder, ranked nationally, but he has made the full move to pitching this past season. So an interesting idea here for the Gatemen. We'll see what happens.
The Falmouth Commodores are back at home for the first time since the doubleheader where they hosted the Orleans Firebirds for 2 games. And Carter, home hasn't been incredibly pretty for the Falmouth Commodores, but we got a big tilt coming up.
Yeah, that Orleans doubleheader seems like quite a long time ago now, but you would love to see the Commodores finally get things together at home. They're only 1-4 at the Gov so far this year. It took the Dores into July to win their first home game last year. So for whatever reason, the past 2 years, this home park hasn't been all that hospitable for them. You'd love to see them keep it up, though, after that 2-0-1 road trip. You don't want to spoil things here at home.
The Falmouth Commodores' only win here at Gov Fuller Field was against the Chatham Anglers. And Trey, a lot of things on the line tonight, but the Falmouth Commodores are looking to continue this impressive work week. What do you got for Treys Takes?
Oh, yeah, we love us some Treys Takes, don't we? What I'm going to go with tonight, Logan, is to spread out the runs. We only saw 4 runs last night from the Commodores, all of them coming in the top of the first. And the last 15 batters, like Carter mentioned, were retired by Falmouth last night. It is so important for the Dores to share the wealth, get runs at the start, in the middle, at the end. Just keep the bats going, finding ways to get guys on base throughout every inning. You know, if you're leaving guys stranded, so be it. But if you're putting runs on the board, you'll take that any day of the week. We need to see Falmouth do all of that in almost every single bottom half today.
They're looking to avoid that trend where they saw yesterday 15 batters retired in a row to end that game. The Falmouth Commodores host the Wareham Gatemen. You can tune in right here on the Falmouth Commodores YouTube channel where Trey Redfield will be on color commentary and Carter Bainbridge will be providing some play-by-play, and I'll be on the field giving you guys updates. Thank you so much for joining us on today's edition of Opening the Door. Falmouth Commodores and the Wareham Gatemen coming up shortly.